Welcome to the Workplace Minute, powered by H3HR Advisors and sponsored by WorkHuman. Thanks for joining me for your quick briefing on what's important in the world of work. My name is Steve Boese. How declining birth rates impact the future of work. Today on the show, we're taking a look at one of the most powerful and under-discussed forces shaping the future of work: declining birth rates. It's a long-term trend with huge implications for business, talent strategy, and workforce planning. And it's not just happening here in the US, it's a global story. But first, let's start right here at home. Over the past 15 years, the US birth rate has steadily declined. We've been below the replacement rate of 2.1 children per woman since 2007. 2023, the rate was just 1.62, among the lowest in US history. The implications are clear. Fewer births today mean fewer workers tomorrow. And unlike short-term economic cycles or market corrections, demographics move slowly and predictably. Once that curve bends downward, it's very hard to reverse it. And at the same time, the American workforce is aging. By 2030, all baby boomers will be over 65, and older workers, those 55 and above, are already the fastest growing segment of the labor force. Gen Z, meanwhile, is a smaller group than the millennials, and future generations will likely be smaller still unless immigration significantly increases. And I don't need to tell you how contentious the issue of increased immigration is at the moment. This isn't just a US trend, and that's where the global dimensions become important. Across Europe and much of East Asia, birth rates are even lower. Japan, South Korea, Italy, Germany, all grappling with long-term fertility rates well below replacement level. South Korea in particular now has the world's lowest birth rate, just 0.72 as of 2023. That's not just a dip, that's a demographic cliff. And in Japan, the workforce peaked in the late 1990s and has been shrinking ever since. Businesses there are already adapting by redesigning jobs for older workers, investing in automation and robotics, and completely rethinking the workplace norms. In Germany, apprenticeships and adult retraining programs are being scaled up to deal with a smaller pool of younger workers. And in China, the once massive working age population has already begun to decline, creating some anxiety about long-term economic growth and an intense nationwide effort to lead in the development of AI technology, some of which is meant to be a replacement for human workers. So what does this global picture mean for US businesses and HR leaders? First, talent shortages won't just be a local or national issue, they'll be a worldwide competition. The idea that the US can simply import talent through immigration may not be sustainable forever, especially if other countries are also fighting to attract the same kinds of workers from the same limited global talent pool. Next, many of the tools and strategies already being deployed abroad offer useful models. For example, Japan's Silver Human Resource Centers connect healthy retirees with short-term or part-time jobs, enabling flexible engagement from older workers. And South Korean companies are experimenting with additional childcare stipends, fertility benefits, and even subsidized dating services to try to boost birth rates and retain younger workers. While not all of these ideas may translate directly here at home, they show how deeply embedded the issue has become in economic and workforce planning. And third, global partnerships and outsourcing may not offer the same labor cost advantages in the future. As birth rates decline in many major offshore talent hubs, the availability and affordability of skilled labor may change, forcing companies to think their long-term location and workforce strategies. So let's come back to the US now and talk about what HR and business leaders should be thinking about. First, long-term workforce planning must be demographics aware. The size and the shape of the labor pool are changing. It's not just about skills, it's also about the raw number of people available to work and when they'll start aging out of the system. HR leaders need to look 5, 10, even 15 years ahead and model different scenarios, not just based on economic growth, but on birth and retirement trends. Next, embrace the multi-general workforce. While more workers are staying employed into their 60s and 70s, we need to make work more age-inclusive. That means rethinking benefits, redesigning roles to reduce physical strain, supporting health and caregiving needs, and creating environments where older and younger workers can thrive together. Third, investments in technology need to enhance humans, not just replace them. Automation will be essential to help fill labor gaps, but some of the most valuable uses of technology will be about augmentation, enabling some older workers to stay more productive accelerating onboarding for younger ones, and creating a smarter system overall that reduces reliance on hard-to-hire roles. Next, widen your talent horizons. With fewer young workers entering the workforce, companies will need to look beyond traditional pipelines. That includes people without college degrees, caregivers returning to the workforce after some time away, retirees open to still some part-time work, and people with disabilities. It also includes rethinking talent mobility and training investments to keep people moving and developing within the organization. And finally, consider aligning company cultures with a slower growth reality. Many business models have been built on assumptions of continual expansion, some of that based on population growth. The future may be about sustainability and not just scale and growth. Organizations that prioritize retention, learning, and inclusion may outlast those that simply try to hire their way out of every problem. So here's the bottom line. The future of work is being shaped right now by birth rates that peaked decades ago. The question isn't whether this will affect your workforce, it's how soon it will and whether or not you're ready. That's it for the show today. Thanks so much for listening, and a big thank you to WorkHuman for supporting the Workplace Minute. If this sparked some ideas for your own planning, or if it helped you connect some dots, please share with a colleague. I'm Steve Boese, and this has been the Workplace Minute from H3 HR Advisors.